Ugh. All right. I think we're live. Ugh. So, I'm going to mess with some of my settings on my live stream because I went back and watched yesterday's, and the snake wasn't quite as clear as I'd like it to be. It wasn't showing as. I'm going to try to go live every day. I probably won't, but I'm going to try to at least jump on and run my mouth a little bit. Hold on, my fucking hair. Oh, yeah, I have a little bit of time most days between like 5:30 and 6:30, or 5 and 6 or 6 and 7. So I'm trying to jump on to just hang out for a little bit. And but yeah, like I was saying, it's hot as shit in here. I'm like sweating because I've been in here in my bedroom. I don't know why it's so hot in my bedroom today. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try to go live pretty much every day, at least to just come on, chat with people, see what's up. Shout out for being the only person watching. Which I gotta go post this on uh, next gen. But I need to hook all this up too. I need to hook this up to Patreon, to next gen, and to because if I had this hooked up on Patreon, next gen, YouTube, and Instagram, if I stream it through Riverside, I can actually see the comments from every single platform that it's streaming on and talk to people on multiple platforms. Yeah, let me go post this real quick on next gen. Uh, Come on, you piece of shit. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. So, I don't know. I think I got some people irritated with me today. With me talking a little bit of shit on that horrible looking ocelot Jag Motley. So I saw a little part of a snake that was posted that it was said it was supposed to be a Motley ocelot, but I couldn't tell for sure. I thought it might just be a really nice ocelot, but it'll be interesting to see. And it's unfortunate that I actually had high hopes for um, Jag and ocelot. Maybe with the right polygenic traits, you can kind of fix some of that shit. But I wouldn't add Motley with it because of how Motley just wipes out the black on the sides. So I think maybe ocelot with Jag. Maybe throw something else in there. You know what might be neat, and it might not. It might be a piece of shit. But you know how like marble phantom Jag are actually pretty nice. Uh, an ocelot phantom is pretty nice. Like maybe try to work something like that, and maybe like ocelot Jag phantom. But I know a lot of people don't want to use too much of the Jag. But next time I do Jag breeding, I am going to incubate the eggs kind of cool, probably around 86, to see if that helps with any of the wobble issues and development issues, since they're claiming that it helps with ball python. So we'll see. So I also posted a thing in next gen saying I think um, Jag could possibly be a true co-dom, or it's a dominant gene that is an effect that's affecting certain genes in a super gene, and then the other morphs, they can only affect the pattern structure genes that the whatchamacallit, the Jag does not. Because one of the things about the Jag is, I mean, it really just overpowers the shit out of everything. But that snake could have probably looked better with the right secondary traits. If it had some broken up back patterns, had some thicker blacks, didn't have Motley in it. There's some things they could have done. But then again, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think there's other options with Ocelot that people need to focus on. like Ocelot Aztec, which I'm not sure why that's not a huge priority, you know? So if this is lagging or slow, it's because my reaction, the part one of my reaction video to the Triple Threat Retic Rebellion podcast with three geniuses and Brian, it's uploading right now to YouTube. I think I forget what it's called. I think it's called Rodney Reacts to People That Don't Make Any Sense in Cry Bullies Part One. Because I only saw little clips of that, and I didn't really want to watch it, but I had so many people saying like, "Dude, this is so bad. This is so bad, like train wreck style bad." So I was like, "All right, I'll do a reaction video too," because I also had a couple of people like, "Hey, they name you specifically in it." I was like, "Okay, all right, I guess." I guess Triple Threat wants to play with Rodney, so I'll play. So I don't know if that's a good idea for them, but whatever. Dude, it's so crazy. Like I made it about halfway through, and in the reaction video, and it was so crazy to watch how much different Brian Watkins acts on a podcast versus how he acts on Facebook. He made some comment like, you wouldn't go up to somebody at a snake show and talk to them the way, you talk to people on Facebook. It's like, well, would you? Like didn't you like threaten to like kill or drown Eric Lee? Like, would you do that in real life? Like, well, like he was just being a total fucking cry bully the whole time, and so I make fun of it. It'll be good. This I know that video is hard to watch because of how just the amount of stupidity in it, but I think I add some much needed comic relief. So who is Triple Threat? Triple Threat is that Bill dude from CNB, and then there's these other two dudes who's hold on, I just watched them. I think it's Lee and Levi. Very passionate individuals. Very passionate individuals. Um, and they have joined forces to create Triple Threat Retics, and they are trying to breed retics. Plus, they are being supplied by uh, the new the new Shining Star collaboration team in retics, which is Hell Creek Reptiles and Reach Out Reptiles. Since we're all anxiously awaiting that podcast, but yeah, no, it's good times. I love the Motley Ocelot. Can I see a picture of the Motley Ocelot? Because I saw one picture, and I was like, "Are we sure? Are we sure that's an Motley, or is it just a? Or are we sure it's not just an ocelot?" Because I only saw like it was just like it was like a half a picture, and the snake was like still in the egg. Like you really couldn't see that much. It was a nice snake, whatever it was. Like I'm not gonna take anything away from it, whether it was a motley ocelot or if it was just an ocelot. It was a great looking snake, at least from what I could see. So I'm not shit talking that one, but I am gonna shit talk the other one that they posted like it wasn't a giant heaping pile of fucking dog shit. Did anybody see that snake? It was from Kian Retics over in Indo. They just posted. It was a Aztec Harlequin marble orange glow. I think. Did you guys see that? I shared it. Dude, that snake, like Klawal, like that Klawal or however you say it, Aztec marble Harlequin orange glow. That snake, I mean, dude, that snake is so impressive. It's ridiculous. So impressive. I mean, and this is one thing I was wrong about that Klawal gene. I didn't think it would actually have that much potential because of how it looks, but it looks like it's one of those genes you can actually add black back into, because a lot of black reducing genes, it's really tough to put black back in. But that gene actually looks like you might be able to add a decent amount of shit back into it. So yeah, it was very, very interesting. Harlequin is, I guess it's a different. It seems to be very similar, but I think it's not the same line. Like, It's kind of like I would compare it to like Tribal and Motley. Let's put it like that. But supposedly Harlequin doesn't have the wobble issues, but then some people said some of them do. So I honestly don't know what the truth is on that. I honestly don't know what the truth is. Yeah, somebody send me a picture of that fucking. If that snake's out of the egg yet, that Motley ocelot. Somebody send me a picture of it. I'm gonna take a look. Iran is looking for. Oh, this fucking stupid shit. So, but yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I don't have much to talk about today. I'm just jumping on bullshitting, seeing what's up. But okay, here's a question. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong if you think I'm wrong. When with that ocelot Motley Jag looking uh, the way it did, what do you think that was going to do for those genes separately? And what I mean by that is like, so now we know that you can't use ocelot with a Motley Jag to make a better looking snake. And you can't use Motley Jag with an ocelot to make a better looking snake because both a Motley Jag and an ocelot look better than that snake. So, we're, that's that's the kind of stuff I'm always looking at. Like, does that, consumer confidence, on these investment style animals, I think takes a huge hit when the aesthetic value goes down and is brought down by morph combos, and it kind of shows them more in a limiting uh, manner than in you know a way that says, oh hey, this there's a lot of opportunities here with this gene, so spend a lot of money on it, make a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, the Motley is on Sal. Sal has me blocked because he blocked me a long time ago because we got into it because he tried to backdoor me on a deal, which he did actually. And apparently that was my fault, so he blocked me. Um, but yeah, and I don't understand why Sal Daddy, which is kind of a weird name, Sal Daddy Retakes. I don't understand why they built a giant facility and are going so hard on mainlands. I mean, uh, whatever, whatever. I mean, even if they're going hard on dwarfs and super dwarfs, I still don't know. I don't know. Rumor has it they'll take significantly lower prices than other people in their shit. So maybe they're just doing a numbers game. If I don't know exactly what their business model is, I know part of their business model is very similar to the Jay Brewer shit of you know world's first world's first it up and hopefully end up with some stuff that uh you know doesn't look like shit. I think I saw the post that was supposedly an ocelot motley and was surprised to look as good as it did. It just deducted from the basic ocelot. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like in that one picture that I saw yesterday, my immediate thought process was like, is this actually a motley ocelot or is this just a good-looking ocelot? So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I'll bring it up. I don't know if you guys. Hopefully, you guys saw this picture I posted in Next Gen, but that. Hold on, let me put it in front of my face. It should be focusing. That's a pretty fucking special snake right there. That I think that might beat the symbiote from last year. I think they might already beat the best looking retic produced last year. There is. There it is. There's its. Let me cover my face. There. Well, that looks dark as shit, but no, it's nice. It's super nice. So we got to figure out how we can make that here. That needs to be the goal. How can we actually make stuff in the U.S. as nice as the stuff over in Indonesia and in Europe? Because we are falling behind so quickly. Not that it matters, because they can't import anything here, but you know, I mean, the excitement for retics. If we had those genetics here, the excitement for retics in general would be so much higher, and so much there'd be so many more people interested in wanting to progress retics if we had some cool crazy genetics. I'm hoping some of those potential new morphs I have prove out, and I can make some neat stuff to try to get some traction on, you know, and like, hey, like morph combos don't have to all look like shit, and they can actually look really good, and we don't have to make stuff that just looks worse and worse and worse. So yeah, but yeah, let me know. Did anybody on here actually watch that that whole triple threat retic rebellion video the whole way through? I only got through half of it, and I'm guessing it doesn't improve, but yeah, if anybody watched the whole thing through, let me know. I was pretty surprised by some of the claims they were making in that, and especially the way they doubled down on how to name an F1 line, and you know, take it back to the exporter, and that Brian Whitehead started making some crazy claims after that. It was dude, it was like, why are you saying this stuff? Like, just stop making stuff up. So hopefully this stuff chills out, and I really don't even want to address any of that, but I don't know, if you mention me in it, you know, if you say my name in it, I'm probably gonna respond just because I should. Um, yeah, I was thinking about Pecan some more, and I'm real interested to see what people do with that. I'm interested to see how Pecan. I'm not going to do the breeding, but I would be interested to see what Pecan does with Jag, because I have a feeling Pecan's going to do act with Jag in a kind of a similar way that Phantom did, but it's not going to fuck up the side pattern. You know, you'll get a lot more side pattern out of it. So you could, you know, if I'm right about that, you can get an even crazier side pattern out of a Pecan uh, Jag than you can a Phantom Jag. So I don't know who's doing pecan breedings this year. Does anybody know of any like crazy pecan breedings going on this year? I haven't I haven't really seen any, but I was hoping there was some cool shit going on. Hold on, someone send me a message. What's this? Food chain. Has plans to breed the fuck out of SD. Yeah, there was nothing real good coming out of that. All right, so but yeah. Oh, you did watch all of it? Did it get any better at any point? Like, or was it just because all it seemed like to me was a bunch of like cry bullies, and that's what I thought was so crazy was like, uh, you know, that's what I thought was so crazy because, um, watching how Brian acts online and talks about people, talks to people, and what he says in private conversations, and then to see him on that podcast so calm and collective, just being like, I don't know why people are being mean to me. I don't do nothing to nobody. I'm just here trying to sell snakes and be everybody's friend. And you know, like, that's not reality, Brian. So like that's what actually surprised me the most was like how um somebody just said I watched the Triple Threat new video and they talked mad shit about you. Hold on, we'll see. Is that from today? Well, which is okay because Spencer's been really busy the last couple weeks, so we haven't had time to do podcasts. So if I could do reaction videos to idiots, that at least gives me some content to make. um, but yeah, I mean, it's just I don't understand. I yeah, honestly, I didn't understand Brian in his willingness to pretend to be this person he's not and act like, oh, he's just doing this or that. Um, so, but yeah, that was kind of messed up. Kind of messed up. Yeah. So, but I don't know. It'll give me at least it gives me something to make fun of and make some content, and then as soon as I just talked to Spencer today. We're gonna try to pound out some content next week, and that's all going to be positive. That's not going to be Rodney making fun of retards. That's all going to be positive shit. We're going to get back on that positive train as soon as Spencer gets some free time. So until then, I'm going to act like a jerk off. Uh, yeah, they were really mad about Spencer, and I didn't understand that because it wasn't just Spencer that posted something like that. There was probably 10 of us that were just like, listen, like we don't agree with this behavior. We're not dealing with this behavior. And that's why I said like, and that's why I made the new rule um that I'm just not it's nothing against the new breeders, but I just can't to stay out of the fight. I'm not going to respond to uh questions or engage in conversations with keepers who concerning their animals they got from Hell Creek, High Desert Herps, or Triple Threat. And it's honestly not even anything against anybody involved. It was just you have these people that get confused by what they're being told, and then they reach out to other breeders, and then we give them our opinions or give them facts in most cases, or like, hey, here's where the snakes came from, or this or that, and then Brian just motherfucks us and says all kinds of shit about us to these people, and then that one that Herp House, I think Brian ended up blocking him because he threatened him, said he had to take down the post that he made, and it's like, dude, like, come on, like, don't give your customers dumb information. You know what I mean? Like, if you give your customers good information, and they're not going to go ask other breeders questions about your animals. Like, that's the thing. Like, if your customers don't feel comfortable talking to you about your animals, there's an issue there, and you need to address that issue. So, but Brian was like, yeah, somebody on that podcast said something like, yeah, these people reach out to your customers to cause problems. No, we don't. Like, that 100% does not happen. Like, we do not reach out to people. Me or nobody I know in Retix are reaching out to Brian Watkins customers and being like, fuck Brian, we, don't ever buy from him. But they did address the issue of people saying, hey, like, we don't want to deal with you if you're dealing with Brian. And, that's where Brian Carlson, he posted that video. It's like, hey, I'm not taking sides. I buy snakes from, all these people. I just want to get along with everybody. And that's one of those unfortunate situations because, Brian Carlson's a super nice guy. He's never had an issue with Brian Watkins. So there's no reason for him not to like him. You know what I mean? And I get that. But from our perspective, um, like, we can't talk to you about your animals from him because it turns into this giant fight and him saying shit about us. But according to his, that ridiculous ass podcast, he's fucking Mother Teresa, and everybody else is just being mean to him. How do you even know who they are? What, the triple threat? Because they're all over the internet, and I don't know who the two dudes are, but I know who that Bill dude is because he's been selling Garrett shit for years. And and that's a big problem with Triple Threat because all their information on Retix comes from Garrett and Hell Creek. And Garrett's a really questionable person to be getting legitimate information on Superdorfs from. So you got to be really careful with that. Man, my phone will not quit blowing up. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with them, but hopefully all that shit chills out. And you know, as far as I'm concerned, triple threat, Brian, the two Bryans and Garrett, those people deserve each other. You know what I mean? Okay, no, I meant if we reach out to their customers, how do you even know who's their customer? Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, how does anybody know anything? I don't know. The claims that were being made of like how we're all going after Brian is was ridiculous. You know, we're all doing everything we can to avoid him, to the point that we're not dealing, like if their customers say, "Hey, you know, I got these animals from Brian," we're like, "Yeah, we're good." You know, we're not only we're not going after him, we're actively avoiding him and his animals as much as possible. So, you know, that's all we're trying to do is avoid the headache. Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I think I said in the beginning, but I am working on getting. I need to. My cameras are fine, but I need better streaming on my one camera. I think I need to mess with the bit rate and mess with some settings in either Riverside and or YouTube, because I don't know if I can. I know I can't 4K stream through my ATEM Mini, but I might be able to 4K stream through OBS. So if I can figure out how to stream 4K, then that would be fantastic because I could start showing snakes in 4K on a live stream. So I don't know. I'm gonna work on that. I was gonna work on that today. Then I got sidetracked with this whole stupid ass next or uh, Retic Rebellion podcast that I was reacting to. It should be. What I'll tell you. I'm surprised I'm not lagging because it's actually uploading while we're talking. It's at 14%. So yeah, only 86% more to go and it'll be up. It's long. I didn't mean for it to be that long. I was just laughing so hard. I was just laughing and making fun of them so hard. It ended up, I had to stop. I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to do this in two parts. So I got like halfway through. No. Oh well. But yeah. Yeah, I thought I was going to have two clutches I thought I was going to have two clutches this week, and I didn't get them yet. I got a clutch of Ternate Platy Suns and a clutch of the Yellowhead Indo Sun Tiger Project. I really thought they were both going to drop this week, but it's looking like it'll be tomorrow. They have to drop within the next 2 days. If they don't, I will be absolutely amazed if they don't drop within the next 48 hours. So, yeah, what's everyone looking? I always ask this and no one ever says anything, but what's everyone looking to add to their collection retic wise? Because I'm always trying to see what like people are interested in, and very few people ever say, Jim. I don't think old James is getting anything. I think he's only looking to add green tree pythons. Isn't Pomona this weekend? Didn't I see that? I think that shows. I don't think they got a whole lot in the way of retics at that show, unless Eric Lee's vending. I don't know if he is or not. I'm still working on getting that chick that's working on studying the genetics of dwarfs and super dwarfs to come on the podcast. Really, really hoping I can line that up because there's like about 1,000 questions I want to ask her about genetics. What pod projects you working with? What are you thinking about doing there? Because I just had my pod come out of shed, and I'm not sure if she's ready or not. I just threw the super dwarf in. I got to check them to uh, see what's up, see if they're maybe breeding. Because she's a whitehead. Because we're really trying to start a white-headed super dwarf pod project. Okay, purple and OGS. Well, you can always hit up Shane. He always has like Purple OGS hanging out. Are you with the purple OGS? Are you putting them into Dwarf and Super Dwarfs? Or are you just going? What are you going to do with them? Newer follower, finally caught your live. I'm excited to see and follow your stuff. I wanted one of your pure Turnates, maybe a pair. I have, I do have Turnates in the incubator, and then I have hopefully two half clutches coming from Andrew, and I might have one other clutch coming here at my house. So we're gonna have to wait and see. And Andrew's Paramedeus are breeding. I want to add Bright Aztec. I would try to add not striped out Aztec. That's if you're going for an Aztec, go with not striped out. I think I'm getting a Solaire. Solaires get pretty big. You know that. They get pretty big. I want to work Pied into maybe Indo or Orange Glow Jam or OG Jam. I was thinking about with Pied was putting it with Mocha because of how bright the silver is. If you could make it like super bright silver, a super bright silver Pied, that might look neat. I'm trying to put them into my Mindanaos and others to make hets and cows. You sure you want purple? I might be able to hook you up with an Indo. And then in Indo you can make orange glows too. Well, you can do that with purple too if you have the other snake. Yeah, I wanted to try. It's probably not going to happen this year. I can pretty much guarantee it's not going to happen this year. But for Mindanaos, I was trying to get pecan into that, but my pecan's just not ready to go. Apocalypto or Fractalis? I will not have, unfortunately, I will personally not have either one of those this season. I will have a new F1 bloodline, and Andrew has a clutch coming that has all the Apocalypto bloodlines in it. It has all three of those in it, and it has an additional bloodline added to it that's very similar to the male that's used in Apocalypto and in Fractalis. And what's his other clutch? His other clutch, the other clutch we got going on down there, it has two of the bloodlines of Apocalypto getting bred into a bloodline with really thick black. So we're real, and I've never combined these four bloodlines or these two bloodlines together before. So we're excited to see that. So I should have some really interesting looking Turnates this year. OGS hoping to have my first SD clutch. I really like the 75 Halma 25 Turnate. More Halma could be awesome in the future, but for the most part, not looking to add anything else. I'm not looking to add anything else either, but I'm sure I'll end up with something. Yeah, Anery Pod would be neat. What will you make the display animal? The whatchamacallit, the Solaire. If you're gonna get a display animal, get a Sola. Get something gigantic. Yeah, 50-25. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. I figured that's what you meant. I do have. Oh no, she just sold, which I gotta hit somebody up about it. I just sold I had a holdback female Halma. She just sold, and then I have an 8-foot holdback breeder male for sale. So if anybody needs a breeder male Halma, let me know. He's 2K. He's not. Well, he's a holdback, so he's one of mine. So. Yeah, Pieds do really lack on the color portions, and that's what's so weird about Super Dwarf fucking retic Pieds. Like, if you look at a Pied berm, they were all looking awesome until they started putting a bunch of morphs into them, and then they kind of lost some of it. But that's why I think I think pied in retics is significantly different than pied in berms. Yeah, because I mean, how drastically it changed the pattern part that's left, it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's wiping out. It's like it's wiping out almost everything, but like the silver that would be left on the side in between rosettes. So it's very strange. Very strange. Etherpod was more like a ball python, and yeah, yeah, pods were honestly pods are kind of a letdown. Kind of a letdown. Do you need a Super Maluku tribal? Because I have a female. I got a female left. She likes to bite. I got a Faluku tribal. Not a yeah. I got a Faluku tribal, not a super Faluku tribal. I hopefully I get a good clutch because the wild caught male that I use, ternate that I use for the Fractalis and Apocalyptos, I have kind of an aberrant pattern Mindanao, and I did breed those two together because dude, I need, well, not just me. I think we all need good polygenic slash secondary trait um, back patterns and colors to kind of like, you know, keep our collections from kind of going stale. Um, I don't mean just for genetic diversity, but I think to keep pushing morphs and morph combos forward, I think that's really the only option we have is to really keep trying to make crazier and crazier back patterns and colors and all of that. I want a pod blood. I remember when that snake. I remember when the original pod was found. It sold like 3 times, like right away. Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of that for when they caught it. We'll see how close. Up 17%. Up 17% until my part one reaction video to Team Short Bus, and then it'll be ready to rock. I almost did a Halma to Mindanao this year, then I didn't. I was like, man, I just don't know if it'll be crazy enough because I was going to do it to have the side banding. I was like, man, it's like I just because I wanted a couple, but I didn't want to have to. If there wasn't going to be an interest in them, I didn't want to just make a couple for myself and then not be able to move the rest of the clutch. So I was like, I better not do it. Yeah, I just better chill out. I'm hopefully gonna have a redo clutch of those. Um, it's very going to be very similar to the marbles I produced last season, because the marbles I made last season were 50% Halma, 25 Mindanao, 12.5 Jamp, and I'm hoping to have a clutch this year that's going to be 50% Mindanao, 25 or yeah, 25 Jam or yeah, 20 not 25 Jamp, 25 Turn 8, 12.5 Jamp, 12.5 Kalatoa. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna chill out on marbles. So I do want to see how crazy I can make them. I really want to make a turn eight, an Indo, a turn eight Indo marble, but I know it's gonna take a while to get the right genetics in the. Uh, It's gonna take a while. It might take a little bit to get the phenotype look in turn 8 Indo that I need to avoid making shitty marbles. So I already have the genes I need in the marble, but I got to get them into Indo. So I don't know. I'm working on that. Yeah, if you're gonna have a giant enclosure, then get a giant snake. Don't get a Solayer. If you're gonna do that, get a giant snake. Get like a retic or yeah, retic. Get a Sola or a Malaysian or a Sumatran. Get something that's going to get gigantic. Go hard on it. Is anyone doing any selective breeding with their super dwarfs? Is anybody breeding for aberrant back patterns or side banding? Is anybody doing any of that shit yet? I'm hoping to see. I'm really hoping to see some crazy super dwarfs getting produced soon. I know it's coming. I know somebody's going to do it. And whoever, I'll tell you what, this is what I'm predicting. Whoever in super dwarfs is the first person to start isolating color phases, crazy back patterns, side banding, all that shit, they're gonna take off. Gonna absolutely take off and crush it. Okay. Raising animals. Eventually, mostly still raising animals. Uh, was that for my selectively breeding Kalatoa comment? I'm guessing the delay on this makes it confusing sometimes on who's responding to what I said and what I need to be responding to. But and the other thing is, I'll tell you what, anybody that's seen any a little bit of thicker black in their super dwarfs, man, if you can start breeding for some thicker black, that's another giant opportunity in super dwarfs is to start really focusing on thickness of black because there's some out there that have a little bit thicker black, and if you can really go hard at that, fuck. I'm spoiled with leopard geckos. I have 1 year turnaround on projects. Makes it hard to get as serious with snakes. Yeah, but time doesn't stop. I used to, I like when I was younger. Well, obviously you have like no patience when you're younger, but like 3.5 years to breed a female retic just seemed like fucking forever. And now it's like, it now you're like shit. I gotta get I gotta get a bigger cage. The snake's growing. It's gonna be ready within a year. Like now it doesn't seem like it's long enough. Going to try to pair two of my pure jamps that have the cleanest patterns together next year, probably in hopes of getting class. Yeah, that'd be neat. You gotta start marketing them jamps though. Yeah, you gotta start. Those jams are weird because everybody talks about how much they like them and then they don't buy them. That's like the one irritating thing about the whole jamp market. It's like, be like, oh man, I love some jams. Well, then fucking why don't you have any? you know. So, I honestly think jams are really for the diehard locality people. I think the diehard locality people have them that work with stuff out of that island group, and everybody else is they just kind of they talk about them, but they don't seem to like to go and buy them, which is a shame because hardly anybody's breeding them. Yeah, I guess I could see that. uh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It goes quicker than you think, you know. And unfortunately for me, I'm not great with social media. I'll just start going on podcasts. you could you could you could go on Triple Threat podcast and market your stuff. I'm sure they'll have you on. But when once you figure out what all you got going on, because we're gonna do the breeder spotlights, me and Spencer, for anybody that wants to come on and talk about their stuff. So as soon as you got your stuff, or it's hatched out or about to hatch out, I'll just bring you on the podcast. You can start pushing it on there. So, oh shit. What do we got? Yeah, I'm not going to show any snakes tonight. I wanted to bring up some more of the super dwarfs and show them off because there's a couple of them. A couple of them. You know, it's crazy because these are F3. Um, and I was actually really impressed to see how much more color are on the F3s than were on like the F1s, F2s. So seeing what's starting to pop out in this F3 range on Kalatoas, man, I can already tell some uh, selective breeding is going to be really possible with Kalatoas. You're really going to be able to push their colors and patterns much more than I think uh, we thought you could. Yeah, I figured. What? You don't want to go on triple threat? Dude, they're so mad at me for saying that guy looks like Samson and sounds like Samson and acts like Samson on the podcast. Not that he abuses animals or anything, but like they were super pissed about that. I'm like, dude, I can't help it. They look like they're related. So yeah, King Snake's supposed to be coming out with some announcements soon. I'm not sure what's all going on there. I know they're going to be probably announcing some shipping stuff sooner or later. So that'll be huge. And I got some information. Fuck, that reminds me. I got to send them some stuff. I got some of their information they need, and then I got to do big write-ups on all the morphs, all the localities, all of that stuff. So I don't know. Is there any other topics you guys want to hit? I'm gonna jump off here and wait for this episode to upload, which I'm sure will go over really well. I'm sure everybody's gonna not be irritated by the things I say in that reaction video, so that should be fantastic. But yeah, I'm gonna jump off here. As always, good talking to everybody, and I'll try to be on here tomorrow. Oh, hold on, we got something here. 62 SDGC het purple snow. Need a female for the visual, and then visual to pure turn. There you go. Still need to research to. Yeah, you might actually, if you're gonna go purple snow, you might want to consider a Halma actually for that. I'd consider a Halma for that because the Halma, because an Anery Halma is going to look awesome, and a Halma GC is going to look awesome, and a Halma Purple is going to look awesome, and a Halma Purple Snow is going to look. I just because there's not a lot of people doing a lot of stuff with Halma, you might want to consider a Halma for that breeding. Yeah, I got to start making some like regular content too, like breakdown videos and stuff, because I haven't done any of that in probably like 2 3 weeks. So I'm gonna try to jump on that shit, and then me and Spencer are gonna try to bang out some episodes, and then we're almost ready to do another episode on Spencer's channel for that Retic Breeding 101. He's his female just came out of shed, so he's gonna try to breed her and blah blah blah, and we'll do an update and do another Breeding 101 video. So, but all right, good talking to everybody. Go watch my shit talking video. It'll be up later tonight. Later.